Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Scott here from Sierra Interactive, lining up our latest webinar with one of our great partners, Asterisk Marketing. So, as usual, we're going to give it a minute for everybody to log in, test the audio. Question of the day to make sure that you guys can hear us. Go ahead and put it in the chat. What are you currently wearing on your feet? Are you wearing sneakers? Are you wearing slippers? Are you wearing sandals? Are you wearing nothing? Are you barefoot for, if you're in Florida or something? I've got just socks on because I don't wear shoes around my house personally, but barefoot in South Carolina, I would expect nothing less. Boots still, okay. Brianna, where are you that you wear? Are you wearing like winter boots or are you wearing like nice cowboy boots? Barefoot in Southwest Florida. Okay, boy, a lot of barefooters in here.
Jealous.
I know, although I got a pretty good day here in Northern Colorado, but I'm not quite barefoot just yet. All right, Brianna's in Illinois. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have winter boots on in Illinois, so awesome. Well, we're getting everybody logged in as usual. I don't like to wait a long time to get us started because I do like to respect everybody's time, but we'll give it another minute or so here. As you're logging in, question of the day is, what are you currently wearing on your feet? So I know feet can be a little bit personal, but here we are. We're gonna have a great conversation today too. I'm super excited to hear what Philip's got to say and share with us. So, all right. Well, we're three after. That works for me. Again, welcome everybody. Appreciate you logging in today, and those of you who are watching the recording, appreciate you taking the time. We're going to bring you a special guest today. Philip Pasma is the founder and owner of Asterisk Marketing, and they are a one of our honestly best partners that we have. We work really well together because we've got a really great symbiotic relationship. And Philip and his organization are digital marketers. So he's going to get into a little bit of information around what you can do from a digital marketing perspective in your business. And I'll also talk about, how he can help if you don't feel like doing it yourself. So with that, Philip, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott, so much. All right. And also, I have boots on, still snow on the ground. So here in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully everyone can see this. You can see this, Scott? We're good?
Yep, we're good to go. Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Looks great.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Super excited. I love talking about Google, and yeah, I really appreciate that Scott brought me on. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about owning the search results. All right, the complete strategy for Google strategy for real estate agents. Right, so we're going to be talking about different things that have to do with Google. Obviously, everyone knows about Google, super popular, but how do we take advantage of it? And hopefully, you can come away with some new information. And really, at the end of the day, with Google, we're really trying to generate consistent buyer and seller leads for both agents and teams. So we're going to dive into that topic today. And before we do that, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. So this is a picture of our team. This is a picture of me from several years ago at Google headquarters in Toronto, Canada. But yeah, just a little bit about me. So I have about 15 years experience in digital marketing, worked with an agency and then started my own company. And we work exclusively with real estate agents. Been doing that for the last 8 years. Last year, we managed over $5 million in ad spend. So decent chunk of change that people have put their trust in us. We have about over 500 five-star reviews on Google and Facebook. So I do like to think people enjoy working with us. At least that's what we strive for. And we've partnered with thousands of agents and teams across North America, helping them with their branding and most importantly, lead gen and closing more deals. And we're just huge Sierra fans. We love Sierra. We love working with clients who have Sierra. They are just really set up, robust websites, great for SEO, great for PPC, and the team there is awesome to deal with. So we are big fans. So enough about me. So first of all, dealing with the elephant in the room, and you guys probably don't see it, but I do. AI, right? Why focus on Google when everybody's using AI, right? I get this question a lot. We get this question a lot. They say, like, AI is coming. What are we doing? Is it even worth spending on Google? It's a valid question. Obviously, everyone hears about AI. It's huge, but I want to put it in perspective. So, according to some recent stats I looked up, and I've heard for a while, is 16.4 billion searches per day on Google, right? A huge volume of searches still. Compared to AI or people using AI, it's estimated at 5 to 600 million, right? So 16 billion is a lot more than 500 million. Not to say, again, that AI isn't something we should be considering, right? Obviously, it's something we're considering, but not everybody is using AI, right? There's still so many people that trust Google, use Google. So there's still a lot of money to be made in Google. So that's why we're focusing on it still. And then the thing is, even strategies, some tactics we talk about today, they can help you both in Google and they can help you with AI, right? They can help you in ChatGPT to show up and be the answer to a question. So some of these things overlap. So it doesn't have to be and, or it doesn't have to be or, it can be and. Um, and then again, kind of what we said, AI is growing fast, no doubt about it, but Google is still where a majority of real estate decisions begin. So that's what we're going to focus on. I did see this interesting image the other day, and each one of these gray squares is 3.2 million people. And you can see all of those squares are people that have never used AI. That's 84% of the population. Obviously, this is the entire population. And then the green ones are people that have used free a chatbot or AI. So that's 16%, right? And I use the paid version, but with free, I'm pretty sure it's limited to how many queries you can do per day, right? So not a huge usage. And then there's about 0.3% of people that are actually paying for it. And that's probably mostly you and I and other businesses. So AI is great, don't get me wrong, but we're going to focus on Google today as it's still the bulk share of searches. So all right. So, what do a lot of agents do, or what many agents do? So, um, many agents post on social media, which is great, right? You got to get your name out there, work your sphere, all that kind of stuff. They'll buy occasional leads. Maybe they'll try Google Ads for a little bit. Maybe they'll go to Zillow. Maybe they'll try something else, but it's never really consistent. And they hope referrals will come by doing some of these actions. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I see very few agents doing, and I know this because I deal with a lot of them every single day, investing in SEO. That's probably one of the fewest things I see people do. Really focusing on building a strong presence on Google through some of the things that we're going to talk about today, and really running or strategic pay per click, or at least a combination of these things. So we want to be, or I want you to be one of the agents that do a combination of these things so it can compound together. Um, so, yeah, this kind of goes on the previous that Google is still the front door for a lot of things. Even in today's reality with AI, buyers are starting with Google, right? People go type in homes for sale in whatever Miami, right? They want to see the beautiful images. A lot of sellers are going to start with Google, looking for agents, looking for what's my home worth, how to sell a home in X. A lot of it's going to start with Google. I'd have to think a lot of even referrals are still going to Google you, right? Because even if someone refers, say, a plumber to me, I still go online just to see how many reviews do they have, right? What's their website like? I want to make sure they're legit. Obviously, I got a good referral, but I still want to make sure they're legit. So, what's their online presence? And I'm going to go to Google. And I would think even your sphere at times would probably Google you. So, they're seeing you post on social media, maybe like, yeah, I want to use Jane. Let's Google her. If Jane has no reviews or two and not really showing up anywhere else on Google, then it's not going to give that person the most confidence. So, question is, are you controlling what they see? Are you influencing what they see so that you can close more deals, get more leads, have better branding, all that kind of stuff? So that's what we're going to get into. So, how can we dominate? Give us the best opportunity to influence those results. So we're going to look at kind of four zones. We're going to look at paid ads, so pay per click. We're going to look at the local map pack, which is the Google business profile. We're going to look at SEO, which is your organic search results. And we're going to look at LSA, local service ads. And this is, I guess I'd throw YouTube in here, but we're going to focus on those four. But these can really complete the ecosystem of Google, right? Paid, organic, reputation can equal market authority. A lot of people are doing one thing, but not a lot of people are doing all four. And just from my research and speaking, dealing with these people, a lot of the big teams, the big agents, they're doing all four. Um, this is just a graph I saw the other day as well that's kind of highlights my point is when which combinations drive the best local results? Obviously, realtors local, SEO, paid reviews. That is what's going to perform the highest, right? Doing a combination, not focusing solely on just one specific thing, because it all does kind of work together. Um, so now we're going to get into just a little bit of the specifics. Just I'll preface that in these topics I'm talking about, specifically with SEO and pay-per-click, like there is a lot of more detail I can get in with these things. I've done presentations completely on PPC, completely on SEO. So I'm not going to get super, super granular, but hopefully I can show you what they are, why they are worth doing, and then some insights in how to get there. And obviously, I'm open to any questions as well, if Scott, if anyone has one, or afterwards. So just in basic forms, SEO is just optimizing your website so it appears in Google or other search engines when a buyer or seller searches real estate in your market, right? It's doing specific things, which we'll kind of get into, to try to get you to rank higher. So if you look at search results, so I just typed in best real estate agent Hamilton. That's the city I live in. So typically at the very top, you would see paid ads, you'd see local service ads, and then below that, you see these, which is organic search results. You can see there at the bottom, you have a sponsored. So these people have done specific things to try to get themselves or to get themselves on the first page of Google. Um, I'll touch on this in a little bit, but Reddit is actually a sneaky play to try to get there, and something that we should probably be paying more attention to. But okay, so that's kind of SEO or what it is. So why should we even care about? So it's SEO is one of the things that can compound over time. So for anyone that's done SEO, generally, when you start from scratch, it goes very slow at the beginning. It can take months, sometimes years, to really gain some traction. And then all of a sudden, it just shoots up in terms of your traffic on your website, your leads, your keywords you start ranking for. And then it just really compounds over time. So it's hard to start, but then once it really takes off, you can see an influx. Um, it builds authority. So, well, your website builds authority, but then it builds authority in terms of just seeing if someone sees you on Google at number one in a spot organically, you have to assume they think that you are good at what you do. Why else would Google put you there, right? So it builds authority when your websites, say you're on paid, then you're on the organic search results, and then you're on map packs, right? It builds to your name over long term, if you do this for a while, which with SEO you really should, it should be a long-term investment. The cost per lead can be sub $3, can be lower than that, right? Based on the number of leads you can generate. And I've seen it with clients and other people, and the initial investment, or the ongoing investment, it can really be an extremely low cost per lead and a high volume of leads. Works 24/7. Unlike pay-per-click, your budget does not run out. It keeps going and going and going. So that's a huge win. It's so this is a pro and con. I like to see it as a pro, but because it takes so long to build out SEO, it's really hard for people to replicate. Like it takes a while to do. So most people just don't have the patience for it, the time or the investment. So if you do get to that point where you start ranking for a bunch of different keywords on page one, you can last for a very long time. Not to say you completely forget about it, but you can last for years and years and years getting traffic and leads. So it is, once you get up there, it can be a really, yeah, really fruitful. And I see this all the time where people say SEO is dead, it's all about AI, all this kind of stuff. And that's really not true. These are results from some of our clients and people we've worked with in the last 30 days. So this is 45,000 clicks. This is from Google Search Console, which if you don't have, I highly recommend getting. It's a free tool by Google. It tells you how many clicks you're getting, what pages are ranking. 45,000, 2,600, 4,000 clicks. Look at these impressions, right? This is people just looking at your website, right? So over a million, 2 million, I should say, right? This is all stuff that it still works even in today with AI. People are still using Google and getting a lot of clicks and impressions. And technically, it's also if everyone's moving away from Google, you would think now is the best time to go towards it. So um,
So a
you might
quick
want to keep
question
pushing.
there. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but in regards to these results, do you know about how long you've been working with these clients? I mean, have you been working with them for years and they've built up authority?
Over
Have you,
these, yeah,
okay,
theyese are all like several years.
cool, cool. I
Yeah,
just
these
want to
aren't
set
like new
expectation
websites.
that this isn't, you haven't been working with them for 3 months and now all of a sudden they're getting 2.5 million
No, these
impressions.
are
So
several
it's a
years. Yeah.
long-term game.
Long-term gain. This
Yeah.
client is a little bit they do target a very large area, hence why it's such a large amount of clicks and impressions.
Okay,
But yeah, definitely several years.
cool. Thank you.
Um, so how to rank organically. Again, if people do want to dive into deeper in these subjects, happy to jump on a call and talk about this. But I'll just try to go over high level stuff that can help get us there. And I think the three main things that I'm going to kind of go into briefly is content, um, keywords or building specific pages around keywords, and then link building, which is domain authority. There's other nuance or not nuances, but there's things like schema markup and just just different internal linking, all this kind of stuff. Page speed, which Sierra out of the gate already is great at. I think Sierra is a platform that really gives you an amazing opportunity to rank. They have a lot of tools. They're very focused on SEO, one of the very few. So it's a really good platform to work on. But city specific pages, and I know there's companies out there that can do this at scale, focusing on specific things, right? Equestrian homes for sale in Denver. So this would be its own page. And I have an example of this. 3-bedroom condo downtown Austin. Royal Palm Polo Boca Raton homes for sale. Homes by Texan Christian University. What do these four things have in common? They're very specific and they're what we call long tail. Not to say you cannot, like you would still build other pages, but this is where the money is going to be made when it comes to SEO, even PPC, to be honest. Very, very specific searches around things that Zillow is not going to care as much about. These big portals are not going to care as much about these because they don't give as much volume. So this is where clients and agents can win. Um, Hyper-local evergreen content. And this is specifically talking about your blog. So we like to focus on content that's going to be relevant now and also 10 years from now, right? So if you do a blog about market stats for last month, that's relevant for like 2 weeks. Whereas this is relevant for a very, very long time, right? So these are very generic titles. I recommend doing a little more unique and creative, but like 10 reasons to move to Orlando. The ultimate guide to living in whatever neighborhood. A zip code guide. This one does really, really well for a lot of people. How to sell your home in X city. Um, I have, we'll send this after, but I have a list of different ideas for you that I'll send as content or as a resource that you can kind of go and examples. And then these can also be turned into YouTube videos, right? Take the same script or content, make it a YouTube video, add it to your blog, and then reuse it for YouTube and social media and all that kind of stuff. Um, and then backlinks. So I'll get into this in a second, but these are links pointing from other websites to your websites. Can be done on local partnerships, medias, local directories. We'll kind of get into that in a second. And then I have a video too I will send as a resource at the end, or when we send out the blast of this video recording, using Google Keyword Planner to find keywords to rank for when it comes to these pages. Because you could have this great idea as like, oh, I'm going to do this page or article about this neighborhood or area or whatnot. But in reality, nobody could be searching that thing. So Google Keyword Planner tells us how many people are searching it per month, what's the competition, and what's the value people would actually pay for it in terms of cost per click. So we use it all the time to figure out like, is this a keyword worth going for or worth paying attention? Um, the other thing before I kind of get more into these specific things is with SEO, really what you're doing, just take out ranking aside, you're just building a good website to make a great user experience. These are things you would do even if you didn't rank, right? If people just went to your website, they want to know information. You can use these in social media. You can use these to send to people who you get a PPC lead. from out of town and you can send them this article. So it's just really good things to do outside of also ranking and getting organic traffic and leads. So that's my point about that.
Philip, real quick, sorry, I'm going to keep interrupting you as we get questions in here and we can get them answered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where to go? Tracy asked, how do they get into or get access to their Google console?
Google Search Console?
Hmm.
How do you get
Where you
at?
were
Like, how did,
where you were showing those results from. So how do the clients get access to see what their results would look like?
well, yeah, so you go to if you went to Google, typed in Google Search Console, first you would have to create an account, and then if someone created it for you, so we add our clients as users. And then once you log into the dashboard, there's like all of these different things that you can look up. One of them is like performance or insights, I forget what it's called. And then that will show you your stats. So it'll show you what pages people are looking at, what search terms they're using, how many people have viewed your website in the last 30 days, 60 days,
Cool.
a year. So
Cool.
yeah, it's just something
So I
you,
think,
free account you create.
yeah, I think basically just go Google Search Console and then log in with your Google account and you should be able to get access and check everything out. So,
You can submit sitemaps through there so that Google can crawl your website
mhm.
easier. So
Cool.
it's a really good free tool to use for anyone who's interested in seeing analytics too. GA4, you can see a lot of this stuff, but Search Console is more specifically for SEO. Analytics is more for like just website traffic in general. Um, but this is from Google Search Console. And then kind of going to my previous point, these are the top pages. Other than the homepage, I think you notice a trend, right? Commercial property, Spanish style homes, Riverbend, which is a neighborhood, a blog, one acreage home for sale. Very long tail, very specific keywords. That's where you can find the gold in SEO. Um, so then this is just a real life example of a blog on a Seer Interactive website. So when it comes to blogging, I see this a lot and I see this on different websites, but you really want to like this is kind of SEO 101, but you have to include keywords into your headings and throughout the content and your URL slot, right? You got to tell Google what it's about, right? So if you went to Google Keyword Planner and you found out like moving to Ocean City is the keyword, so that's what you got to have on your title throughout your content, so on and so forth. Obviously in a natural way. Um, you want to add images and videos to it, right? Just for UX, right? People don't want to just stare at a bunch of content. They want to see images, they want to see videos. If you can do a custom video, way, way better. You want to link internally to other pages. This is throughout your whole website. But if you did a moving to and living in Ocean City guide, you then want to link to homes for sale in Ocean City or specific neighborhoods that you talk about, anything like that. You want to build out all of these internal links, FAQs specifically with like AI or answer engine optimization. That's basically SEO, but like what are those common questions that people are going to type into Google or ChatGPT so that we can get crawled there. Um, with blogging, I'm a big component of quality over quantity, right? I'd rather someone do one amazing article than 10 articles using ChatGPT that's like 500 words. So I would rather go for a lot bigger word content, really spend time, images, all that kind of stuff, than just trying to get as many blogs out as possible. People have different opinions about it, but that's what I think. And then with because people are using AI all the time now, right? Can you make your content somewhat unique, right? Can you do some type of own research or get quotes from residents or anything that's not AI is going to just spill out, right? Because AI is just going to regurgitate what they find. Can you do something that's unique? That's yeah. So that's my spiel about blogging. And just stick with it. Takes time, but with blogging, actually, one last thing I'll say you typically are not competing against like Zillow and other thing and big portals. You're competing with other real estate agents or a lot of moving companies write blogs about it. But it's less competition. You're not going to get as many leads, but you can definitely get high rankings and traffic and some leads. And again, it just helps with your website.
And
So these are
is that because you're recommending that such a like to get so granular and specific in your community or neighborhood or whatever, like you're
yeah.
writing about that detailed things that the big portals aren't necessarily going to be focusing on.
Yeah, exactly. Like Zillow is going to be focusing on all of America, North America, right? They're not going to dial in on like one specific city and go really,
Right.
really niche, right? It's just not worth their time or money. In, so I think if we can build these like hyper local, all about one location, right? Then I think we can start gaining some ground and getting some traffic and all this kind of stuff. And again, it's just like great content to have.
Cool.
Um,
Another
so
question, because I've heard different strategies on this. I'm curious your thoughts in regards to sort of developing the blogs. Obviously, our clientele and real estate agents in general super busy, right? So to sit down and consistently write blog posts, I tried to do it for a while, and it's hard. What are your thoughts on how much to leverage AI in that process?
I mean, yeah, it's so this was a big topic at the beginning of AI was does Google care if it's AI? Like everyone's like, oh, if it's AI, you're not going to rank. Technically, it's not true. At the core, Google cares about quality, whether it's human or whether it's AI. I think the challenge with AI is that if everyone uses it, it's not really different. So, how can you find ways to make it more unique? And I think it can be a combination of AI plus human. So, using AI for like ideas or parts of it, but then also implementing your own thoughts or videos or research. So, I agree, it's really, really hard to do it yourself. So I think it's better to either A, if you can do it yourself, awesome. But if you
Right,
can't, hire a local writer or hire a company that, such as ourselves, that
right.
focuses on doing this, does the research and all that kind of stuff. But you could get
Cool.
a local writer to do it too, right? Then you can kind of scale it and it's not using your time.
Thank
Um, so uh, this is this is just
Actually,
going.
hang on 1 second. Sorry again. Can you go back to the previous page for Isella, hopefully?
Um, yeah,
Hopefully that's helpful. We'll leave it there for a second. Hopefully she's paying attention.
yeah.
Cool.
This is somewhat of a custom one we did. Like we added table of contents and stuff, just because this is such a big topic for like the moving to is a real heavy hitter keyword for a lot of our clients. And we've even gone as far as creating like definitive guides where we create highly custom pages. Um, and they generally do quite well.
And how does chat, getting back to using AI, we got Joe asking, how does chat, this is probably a longer conversation, but how does chat content affect your SEO visibility?
In terms of how does it affect your
Will it,
visibility?
meaning will it improve SEO visibility, Joe, or will it have an impact, a negative impact on it? What
Like,
specifically are you
because
looking for there?
I think maybe what he's, I don't know if he's referring to, I think less people are
Negative
probably
impact.
clicking through. I do think less people are clicking through, like, because even with Google overview, like they try to give you analysis, right? An AI overview right at the very top.
Yeah,
So I do think blogs may have less importance these days. I don't think it's huge. Like I still would definitely do it. And they also have to cite these things, right? They cite them as resources. With AI or with Google, they show up on the right-hand side,
yeah.
right? They only give you a limited information. Um, but
And
yeah, like ChatGPT is gonna take some of this away.
and like you said, I mean, Google's looking for good content. It doesn't really care where the content's coming from, right? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, yeah, that's at the end of the day, that's what Google said. Like,
Okay,
in terms of the using ChatGPT or AI, like at the end of the day, if it could pump out an amazing blog, then it has the potential to rank. And I've seen it for sure, but I think as more people start using it and it again it pumps out the exact same thing within like just different
right,
verbiage,
right.
then how does Google rank those then, right?
Yeah,
So it's going
cool.
to find a different way. What's more quality, and it says like unique content. That's one of the things that Google looks at. Um, does your page have like is it promoted, right? Like if you get more links to it, that can also help. Uh, Okay. So these are the this is the long tail pages I was talking about, and these are we call them like more like area pages, right? So these are more transactional in terms of specifically someone looking for homes for sale and acreage in Hamilton. These are these long tail keywords that we really want to go after. So similar principles apply in terms of when you're creating these. And again, there are companies out there that will create these at scale in a very basic manner, which is I'm not opposed to at all. Um, Keywords in headings, same things is images, videos, anything that you can make it somewhat more unique than someone else, essentially linking to other pages. So there's a lot of opportunities. So if you have a homes with acreage for sale in Hamilton, very specific, can you then do a blog about where to find acreage homes near Hamilton? And then you list all the different cities around Hamilton, and then they link to those pages. So you just build out a network of all these different pages that are linking to each other. FAQs, again, is very good. How much does it cost to buy a home in acreage for sale in Hamilton or acreage in Hamilton, right? There's tons you can come up with. Yeah, like what I said before, this is where you can rank. Um, so this is before I said quality over quantity. With these type of pages, I would go quantity over quality. I would just try to get as many as possible out there, get indexed on Google, and then I would focus on the specific ones. So if I really want to go after acreage, like I want to be known as that guy, I would spend more time on this page. And what I would do, this picture right here, I would build content underneath the listings. People want to see listings first. Then underneath that, I would build out more information about Hamilton maybe as a market, or talk more about acreage homes, or why I might be the person they choose, or any valuable information. That's where you kind of focus on adding additional information. And then just lastly, before we get out of SEO, the link building, which is a very big component of it, and which most people don't do or really put a lot of emphasis. But that's when you get other websites to link to yours, and the more valuable the website is. So if I could get a link from Google to mine, or not Google, let me say like a huge NBC.com, if they link to my website, that'd be massive, right? Extremely hard to do, probably won't get it, but the bigger the website and the more specific it is, the better. But for local, we also want local links. So local chamber of commerce, that's a really easy one to get. If you can get on the news or some type of business spotlight, like that's a huge win. That's a huge link, not only for PR, but also just getting that link to your website. So this is a local client, or not a local client, a local agent of ours, and he just offers his time to go on radio and TV and give analysis of the housing market. Any type of local sponsorships of their sports teams or charities, when you get your link back, also you're doing a great cause, and then you get a link back, extra bonus. And then the other one that you can kind of scale to is getting guest articles on local websites. So if you work with a moving company or a home inspector, interior designer, they have a website. You could also just try to get a link from them as a partner, but you could also, if they have a blog, say like, "Hey Bob, I see you have a moving company. I'd love to write an article about moving to Hamilton. Would you be open to that?" And if you have a relationship with them, most people would do it for sure. I think if you don't have a relationship, it can be a little bit harder to pitch, but these are all ways you can get local links back to your website.
That's a really good point, and I like that because we talk a lot, and our partners and some of our higher level clients that come in and do webinars talk a lot about building your referral base, right? Like you're referring whether it be a plumber or a home inspector or a moving company to your clients. Like you should be building partnerships there, and I love the idea of cross promoting using blogs and things like that. That's a great idea,
Yeah, and if they're into SEO too, like then you can offer them a link on your website, right?
right?
You can do a little bit of yeah, you can help both parties doing it. And most people, if you have a relationship with them, I've seen it, like they just don't care, right? We did a guest blog on Sierra's website. They were
Yep,
happy to do it. It gives them
yep.
content. Um, so it's just a way, it's just a lot of people don't do this, they don't think about it, but it is great for your website and great to help you start ranking
Yeah.
locally. So, okay, so SEO is a big topic. So that's where we spend most of our time. But now we'll get into some of these other things. So, local service ads. Hopefully, a lot of you know what this is. It's been around for several years now, but it's that ad that shows up at the very top with the Google screens, and it's when someone types in "real estate agent near me," and the beautiful thing about LSA is you only pay when someone contacts you directly. So unlike pay-per-click, it doesn't matter. Someone could click on your profile a million times. You actually only pay for a lead, which makes it really, really nice. These are the local service ads. And apologies to anybody in Canada listening to this because we actually don't have these available to us for real estate. It's only for Americans. Don't know why they won't come to us, but they won't. But these are the ones that very, very high quality leads, and they show up at the very top when people are looking up local real estate agents. So why do these matter? Mainly seller intent. So people, obviously agents love listings, and we've heard time and time again, these are really like come list me leads, really seller focused. So they're great that way. You get that Google guarantee trust badge, so you can see your profile with that badge on it. So making you look more trustworthy. Like I said, it's a pay per lead program. It's not per click, which makes it very risk free. You get that prime top placement. And again, we're kind of talking about Google domination. So we want to be in as many spots as possible, and this will do that for us. And then this is just kind of a stat, but 25% of the clicks on local search results end up going to LSA. So a decent chunk of them. And this is just a screenshot of what the CRM looks like, and you see these are all messages, phone calls, phone calls. Like you can get a lot of different phone calls and messages. The one thing I will say about LSA from my experience and working with people, and maybe you've experienced this as well, it's super hard to like predict. One month you might get five leads, one month you might get zero. It's just, it's hard to scale, but for me, I think there's limited risk involved because you're only paying per lead. So like, why not have a profile? Why not get it out there? And at least you could be showing up. People could be seeing you, even if they don't click on you, which wouldn't be the best, but still. So to get the most, reviews are number one, right? Consistently getting new reviews. This is going to help us with Google business and reputation, all that kind of stuff, but it really helps with LSA as well. I know that's kind of harder for new agents, but um, it is part of the process. Uh, Answer immediately. So that's what they weighted on too. They'll weight it on reviews, proximity, and response time. So if you get a bunch of LSA calls, never pick up, you're not going to get many more. You can use services like CallRail where you can actually port the number or it's like a tracking number, and then you could actually, if you don't pick it up, someone else could pick it up. So maybe you could do it with someone else. I'm not sure. Or they could record it. You could see that it's specifically coming, so you know you have to pick that up. But you definitely want to find a way to make sure every call is getting answered. Maximize profile coverage. So select as many relevant job types and service areas as possible. I would be more aggressive with service area, to be honest. Prime example. So we had a client in Boise, Idaho, wasn't getting a ton of LSA leads. We kept expanding, expanding. Eventually, we actually expanded it to the whole state of Idaho. They were comfortable with this. And then they started getting a lot more calls. And then we built some traction and reputation with Google. And then we targeted back to Boise and area. And then they continued to get a lot more leads and stuff. So it would be expensive. Maybe you can get referrals out of it, but you gotta have to try to build a reputation with them if you're struggling. And then just keep it updated. Check it every week or so. Play around with different bids and budgeting. Chances are you'll never max out your budget, but a lot of times I can see people's information and it lapse, like their insurance and stuff like that. So, um, okay, that's all I'll say. Highly recommend doing it. Very risk free. Google Business Profile, many of you heard, it's been around forever, but just that free listing on Google that appears on the maps when people type in real estate agent near me. And obviously shows you reviews, helps you stand out, gives you those organic search results. Um, so this is what it looks like. It is crazy to me that some people still don't have it, but you really, really want to get it. It's free. Um, and it really shows off your reviews and your presence, all that kind of stuff. So this is what it looks like. So this person specifically is also running ads on their brand name. So a lot of times people who do SEO will ask me, how do I control like what shows up on Google with my website and my name and the site links? You can't do it in organically. Like Google will just pick what they think is the best. But if you run an ad on Google Ads against your own name, you can control what shows up here. So if you, all of these site links are controlled, all of this information you can type in, and it's going to cost you most likely very little unless you get searched a lot. So this is just a pro tip, how you can kind of control your name on Google using Google Ads. So why does Google Business matter? Well, if you want to run LSA, you need it. So that's a pretty good point. They changed that months, years ago. Um, you show up in the local map pack, high visibility. So it kind of builds on that authority, credibility through reviews, right? If someone goes, they Google you, like you said, like you see reviews right away. So if someone has they don't need 1,000 reviews, but if you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 plus reviews, and then you read through those reviews, they're all good. Like that's going to build credibility. It's free, free exposure. Those people could call you a million times. It's not going to cost you anything. And then you get direct calls, website visits, all that kind of stuff. So definitely something you want to be doing. And about 40 to 60% of clicks on local search go there. So if you remember LSA at 25%, this one is 40 to 60, so it gets even more. Um, so definitely something worth doing. And this is just, yeah, so you can see like these are the terms where it shows up. So realtor, real estate, homes for sale, which is interesting, but it even shows up for a lot of these different things. And you can be there if you have a strong profile, which we'll get into. How do you get the most out of it? This is like not a lot of what I'm saying is rocket science, to be honest, but it's just about consistency and actually doing it, right? So for Google Business, it's completing every section within your profile, your categories, your services, your areas. If you have specialties like military or whatever your specialty, highlight it so you're not the same as everyone else. High quality photos and videos. So every time you do a closing, add a photo, right? You do it on social media, do it on Google. Or if you have a video, you can add it there. Request reviews after every closing, past clients, all your Zillow people that left reviews, email them, ask them to leave a review, ask them to say more detail, the better, right? If you can get them to mention like specific things like I helped Phil or Phil helped me buy a home in Hamilton or Phil was a great realtor in Hamilton. Nah, that doesn't sound as good. But anything with like the keywords in there is really, really good. But most importantly, it's like quality review, 5 star, and then consistently. I wouldn't just try to get a bunch of reviews all at once and then not get reviews for 2 years, right? It's about a consistent flow of reviews. And then post updates, post weekly updates. Google Business has a posting feature on it, similar to like yeah, like social media. So whatever you do on social media, you can also do on Google Business. Just shows activity and frequency. It's not like one specific thing is gonna really move. It's a combination of stuff that's gonna help you rank higher. And then keep contact info and hours accurate at all times. It's kind of like yeah, a no-brainer, but you always want that accurate.
A quick thought
Okay.
on reviews, Philip. What I used to do when I was in production back in the day, when I asked for a review, I would actually provide two samples of what they could say,
No,
because to
that's
me, a
true.
lot of people are lazy. They don't want to take the time, but if they can cut and paste something and get it done quickly, you have a higher chance of doing it. So it's interesting because you can actually put in there exactly what you said, what terms you want them to be highlighting. Just put those in your samples and send it to them to just basically copy and flip around and add as the review.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good idea. And I will say people do need to be reminded of to leave a review. So it may take a few times to do it. Usually it's better to ask in person versus over
Mhm.
text. Um, Google, if you go into your Google business profile, you can easily get a quick link, like a link that you send to them, and then that will bring them right to the review section. But yeah, people do need to be reminded quite a bit. So, um, but yeah, super, super important when it comes to Google and dominating it. And then lastly, pay-per-click. So this is just a form of advertising where essentially you bid on a keyword like homes for sale in Toronto, and you pay a fee each time that ad gets clicked. So say it's $1 to go to your page, whether they become a lead or not. Um, they You'll get charged, and you can go after different keywords. So here's an example of a key I typed in Miami new homes for sale. Obviously, I'm interested in it. These are the first things that I'm going to see are these sponsored ads. Below that is going to be organic, right, which we already talked about. But these are going to be our paid ads. So why does pay-per-click matter? So it can have really high intent, right? If I go to Google and I type in homes for sale in Toronto, obviously I'm interested in homes for sale in Toronto in some capacity. I may not be moving for 12 years or not for like a year or so, but there's intent behind it. And you're actively showing up versus say Facebook where you run an ad. I didn't type in anything specifically on Facebook. It's just I've been scrolling and then I see this ad pop up. So Google, there is more intent behind it. Unlike SEO, that could take a year, right? This could take, you could create an ad today and have your ad start running in a few hours. So you can be top of page very, very quickly. You can scale it based on budget, which I think a lot of people like, especially teams or growing agents. You can easily increase the budget from say 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 to like 20,000, right? Depending on your area and the demand there, but it can scale with you. You have full control over targeting and messaging and landing pages, which is nice. And then it's very you have so much stats around pay per click in terms of clicks and click through and conversion rate and cost per lead. So it's very very data driven, and you can make changes based on that. And then this is interesting too because again, with people thinking about AI and stuff, they also question if PPC is relevant, but it's actually gained percentage points all of last year, from January to 25 to 26. It actually more people were clicking on ads than less in every vertical. So I thought that was super interesting stat I saw a week or two ago.
So John Smith asked a really interesting question, and that's does pay-per-click help your SEO?
Not really.
Okay.
So not really in the sense that like there's something called dwell score, dwell time. So you do want people to go to your website. So the longer people stay at your website, apparently is supposed to help, right? Google kind of reads it. And if they're looking at like, if someone just goes to your website and leaves right away, that's a bad signal, right? That's called a
Yeah.
high bounce rate. But if they go and spend more time, so I guess PPC traffic could send more people there. But I would say like, I would say no. They don't
It,
really
is
like,
it safe to say there may not be a direct
yeah, there's
correlation,
no
but to
direct.
your point, if you're doing both, you're building out your SEO, pay-per-click, and you add pay-per-click in, that's going to increase your traffic in the short term, increasing your traffic to the site while you build out your while you build out your SEO. So is it safe to say there's sort of maybe an indirect correlation with how they can work together and help each other?
Yeah, I would say
Okay,
that. Yeah,
cool.
it's not like if I spend 10 grand on PPC, all of a sudden I'm gonna start ranking organically,
Right.
but
Okay.
indirectly, because I do know people will pay people to come to their website, like there's services out there, right? A little bit of a great tactic. But yeah, it's they're pretty separate in that sense.
Okay. Cool.
Um, so this is just to show you that PPC also still works extremely well in terms of generating leads and getting traffic to your website. Do we have a hard cutoff at 4?
We're going to want to wrap up by 4. I mean, I think we can go a little bit over, but
Okay,
I'm
I don't
assuming
have
I
much
kind
more
of
to go. I
assume.
just want to make
Cool.
sure.
Sounds good.
I don't have that many more slides, but getting out the most of PPC. So kind of like similar to SEO, we really want to go a wide range of search terms. So we don't just want to target Orlando homes for sale. Everybody's searching for that or targeting that. We want to go in all of the different neighborhoods. We want to go in the zip codes, the types of homes, the seller terminology. So we really want to cast a wide net when it comes to pay per click. It's my opinion. And then we can see what's working and what's not, and then we can get more granular with the information. You want to track leads and cost per lead, and everyone really does get hung up on this. But at the end of the day, it's about closings and GCI for most people. So sometimes you can afford to have a higher cost per lead because you're really focused on an area that's going to produce a high GCI. Um, the more you put in, the more you get out in terms of both time, ad spend, um, length of time, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's it is something you want to dedicate a decent budget towards. The combination of PPC and remarketing work wonderfully together, even SEO. Um, so remarketing is when you show ads to people that have been to your website and then they go on NBC.com or they go on Facebook or Meta or anything like that. So you want to follow them around so they work well together. Already kind of touched on this point, but the longer you do PPC, the better results you get because you're going to get leads who are ready to go now, a year from now, 2 years from now. And if you keep doing it for several years, all of a sudden, every single month you have people ready to go because you built up such an inventory of leads. You're doing a great follow up because you have Sierra in their system, so it can do really well. Uh, yeah, only a few more. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but so Reddit is a really, really good forum to be on and to make sure you're showing up on. A lot of people will go to Reddit and be like best real estate agent in city. It shows up on the first page of Google most often. So if you can get some recommendations there or mentions, that can be huge. So just go type in Reddit real estate agent and see what pops up in your city. Um, this kind of goes without saying, but you really want like because we're talking about dominating Google, your Facebook's going to show up, your LinkedIn's going to show up. Just try to make it all consistent branding. You don't have to spend a lot of time on these social media platforms if that's not your forte, but just having consistency with name, information, right? All that kind of stuff. Similar with citations. Citation is like a local directory. So like Zillow, I guess, could be considered that or a directory. You just, again, you want to make sure all that information is the same. Your phone number, your address, and your name, which I know with real estate agents, it's a little bit difficult at times, but just keep everything consistent. It's going to really help with Google. So what happens when you combine all of these things we talked about? So instead of relying just on referrals or Zillow or just random leads, the people who own Google, right? You do all these things, you do them well, you're going to get consistent inbound leads, you're going to get strong brand authority, people who trust you, and you're going to get predictable lead flow. So every month you kind of know what's coming in, and then who wouldn't want that? Okay.
Awesome. That was great, dude.
This
Thanks,
is
thanks a lot. That was a lot. That was a
um,
lot in a short period of time. So
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
I know. And those are really big topics. I could have gone in further, but
Yeah, yeah.
this is just our website. That's my email if you do want to reach out, and the QR code just goes to our website if anybody does want to learn more about us or talk to me.
That's awesome. Thanks, man. So couple of questions I had. For those of you, for those of the people on that either are starting to do SEO or want to do SEO because SEO is such a hot topic and it's really a long-term win, right? But it does take work. Um, what kind of budget should they sort of think about as they're starting to target SEO? Because obviously we've got a wide variety of people on the call here. Some have a very large budget, some don't. So what are the best ways to look at that?
Kind of comes down to expectations and how quickly you want results. Because you could, like, if you're paying someone, you could spend a few $100s and focus on like a couple blogs or something like that, right? And the start the momentum growing.
Okay,
Obviously, if you do that, it's going to take a really long time, right? I think for people who are doing like full-fledged plans, so you're doing content, you're doing pages, you're doing link building, you do generally look into several $1,000s,
okay,
right? Because it's very time heavy.
and that's monthly.
Yeah, yeah, it's monthly.
Yep, yep. Okay,
Um, but again, you can start lower if you want to just start with content.
okay,
But if you really want the whole package, then you are typically spending several thousand because that's just what it
okay.
takes to get there.
Cool.
Uh,
And obviously anything in between, right? So, and I think it's probably something that you can talk to people about and sort of guide them along based on what they're looking to accomplish.
yeah, and it ranges, and it's not like you have to spend the same amount all the time, right? You could
Okay.
go heavier for the first year or so, and then, like I said, once you get up to those spots, it really sustains and builds. Not to say you wouldn't want to do things, but then you can bring it back down. It can supplement, right? Like at a certain point, maybe you don't need to spend as much on ads because you're getting so many organic leads coming in.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
right, like it's and then it becomes an asset. Like your website really does become an asset.
Sure. Sure. Which is obviously what we want for our clients and those of you who are looking to work with us. What mistakes prevent agents from ranking locally?
Um, I think not realizing the time it takes, kind of what I said before, trying to just go for volume of things versus quality,
Okay.
right?
And that's getting into that sort of hyper local strategy that you mentioned before.
Yeah, and just like when they create content, it's just very thin content. It's only like a few hundred words. The best thing you can do really is just go to Google for the topic you're going after and look what other people are doing. And
Okay.
you have to be better than that,
Okay.
right? So yeah, like in better in terms of maybe the content or the videos and stuff like that. It's a combination of things, but get an idea of what people are doing on the first page and then try to mimic, put your own spin on it, but it's got to be similar, better, to be honest, if it's gonna.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you so much. This is great information. Maybe you and I'll talk. We'll do another one of these and go a little bit deeper on one of these topics. I think now that we've sort of covered them at a high level, I think that would be great. Couple of messages for everybody out there who's still with us, and we've got a good amount of people here. For those of you who aren't working with Sierra Interactive yet, and you're interested in finding out more, like Philip said, a lot of the work he does is we sort of put gas on what he's doing because of the way we're structured and our SEO capabilities. So if you had any interest in finding out more about Sierra, and you can talk to Philip direct and find out exactly why he loves it. But I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat that you can set up a demo. We'd love to talk to you more about how we can best support your business. Those of you who are clients, you may or may not have heard, we are doing a spring referral special. So anybody that you refer to Sierra, any of your business partners or mastermind associates and things like that, anybody you refer to Sierra between March 1st and April 30th, who sign up with us by May 31st, I know that's a lot, but stay with me. We're going to pay you double the referral credit. So you'll actually get 20% of that client's first year base contract value. So we're doing that for a short period of time. If you haven't referred anybody, go ahead and do that because we'd love to be able to help out your associates around the country. So Philip, again, thanks, man. Really appreciate your time. We love working with Asterisk. It's such a great partnership because you really are able to help our clients take advantage of our platform, which is really what we want. And ultimately, we're both looking for the clients to win. So, thanks again for your time, man. This
I
is great
appreciate it.
information. Yeah, we love it. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like we said, we're going to go ahead and send out this recording to you guys as well, along with some of the assets that Philip talked about. And we'll see you on the next one. We've got a lot coming towards you here in March. I think we've got one thing happening a week, so stay tuned with what we have coming. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the week.
See you, everyone.